Hello, and welcome back to the Ground and Root podcast, where we explore the world of holistic strategies to enhance healing and help you stay cancer free. I'm your host and holistic cancer dietitian, Dion Detraz. I am so excited about today's episode. We have a guest with us, Vicki Landes. We're going to dive deeper into the topic of energy and why this is one of our wellness pillars at Ground and Root. So if you happen to listen to episode 3, I shared what our 4 wellness pillars are, which are really the base of what we do and what we teach here. And one of those pillars is enhancing energetic flow. And today we're going to talk more about why this should be an important part of our healing formula. So our guest today, Vicki, is one of our coaches at Ground and Root. She is also an energy healer and she runs our monthly energy healing calls. So she's the perfect one to come and talk to us about this topic. Welcome, Vicki. I'm so happy to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, Dion. I'm delighted to be here.
Wonderful. Let's just start with you telling us a little bit about who you are, your background, and what brought you to Ground and Root.
My background is in health and human services, so spanning about 35 years. I began my career studying medical social work, got my license, and worked in lots of different healthcare settings, including hospice and hospitals, as well as integrative medical clinics and oncology clinics over the course of my career. The most fulfilling, rewarding time that I look back on, which wasn't too long ago, was my time at Kaiser Permanente, serving as the breast care coordinator, working with breast cancer survivors, their loved ones, and working in the realm of counseling and care coordination and advocacy and health navigation. And that is where I met Dion years ago, and we collaborated together to expand our programs to better serve the people we were serving. And then, just by some interesting coincidence, we both found ourselves moving to Europe, not exactly at the same time, but close enough. And
Close.
we
Yeah.
reconnected, and I found out all the amazing work that Dion is doing at Ground and Root. She also discovered that I am also an energy healer. And she knows me more as my licensed social worker hat under that umbrella. And so she said, "Oh, wow, you're an energy healer. Maybe we can talk about you working with us under our energy umbrella and coming in as our energy coach." So that's how I came to this beautiful work. And I'm just so delighted because I am equally passionate about energy healing as I am about anything else I've done in my career.
That's wonderful. Tell us a little bit like what does it mean to become an energy healer? I know you've done a lot of different types of trainings and there's even just different types of quote unquote energy work out there. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Like that your process of becoming this person?
Yes, thank you. So, when I was working for hospice back in my 20s, it was a really overwhelming time. I loved the work, but I was young and just struggling with kind of the emotional heaviness of that
Mhm.
work. And this amazing woman came in to our hospice and wanted to share with us something called Jin Shin Jyutsu, which is a Japanese form of acupressure. She wanted to teach us how to help ourselves being the healers and hospice workers that we were. And I just became really fascinated because I felt so empowered that this modality could actually help quell my anxiety just by simple finger holds and pushing different points in the energy system that I could actually help myself. And I was
Mhm.
so enthralled with that feeling of being empowered that I dedicated myself to starting studying Jin Shin Jyutsu at that time, about the age of 28, so about 30 years ago. And so that's how that's how the door opened up. And that lovely person I owe a lot to because she opened that door for me. And since then, I dedicated myself to those studies and also became a Reiki master over the years, studying Reiki. I've also studied with 2 different Native American healers and worked in the shamanic energy realm as well. So,
Yeah. So you have a holistic training in energy healing as well. I'm sure there's a lot of overlap, but do you also feel like each philosophy is slightly different? It has their unique take on working with energy as well?
There's the same, though, general idea, which is we are energetic beings, which is we have a luminous energy field. And whatever modality you're using is working with your energy. And so the premise is the same in my experience with the different training that I have. It's just the modality and the way we go about it might be different depending on which modality you're practicing. And I like the idea of being skilled in a number of different modalities because that allows me to use different modalities to tailor my work for my unique people that I'm working with.
Yeah. And it gives you more tools in the toolbox too, right? Which is a lot of what we're doing here. It's like when we take a truly holistic or integrative approach, we are trying to bring in as many different tools and strategies and philosophies so that, like you said, we can pick and choose what's going to work best for each person. So I love that you have like kind of a mix of tools in your energy toolbox. Okay, so we're going to dive a little bit deeper here, but I just want to put it again in context with the wellness pillars and thinking about putting together your own healing plan and what a healing formula looks like. So, in our last episode, you got to meet our dietitian and coach, Kaslin. And in that episode, we talked about how whether your goal is healing, like you're currently moving through a healing journey, or you're even just trying to optimize your current state of health, like looking towards prevention and longevity, we always start with the foundation. And in our practice, the foundation includes nourishing yourself in a really deep way, which we talked about with Kaslin, building resilience in your body, your mind, your spirit, and enhancing your energetic flow. To me, energy is like part of the foundation, right? It's part of our nervous system support, like the things that are going to allow us to go deeper in our healing or even just in our vitality. So, in case this is a new concept for some people, because not everybody has been like studying energy for many years, right? So, this might be new for you. And when you're thinking about putting together your plan, you may have already thought about food and supplements and exercise or getting stress management, things like this, but you may not have thought about energy as one of your tools. So, Vicki, tell us a little bit more about why we do this. Like, why does energy matter so much when it comes to our health?
It matters so much because at the foundation of everything is our energy. And our energy is both unmanifest and manifest. And this helped me understand better how this whole thing works because our physical body is our manifested energy, but we also have this unmanifested aura, if you will, or bioenergetic field or luminous energy body, whatever the term is that you're familiar with. And it's all us. And oftentimes, problems, or maybe all the time, I can't really say for sure, but I think oftentimes issues and problems begin in this luminous energy field in the unmanifested realm. Okay. And this is where we can look for signs and symptoms of imbalances in our energy and address them, hopefully before they become manifest in the physical body, or if they are manifest in the physical body, we can do things to help harmonize that, help reduce our symptoms, help boost our immunity, help work with all of our organ systems, and so on and so forth. Energy is so important because we get to address this unmanifested aspect of who we are. And illness, accidents, injuries, emotions, trauma, thoughts, all of those types of things can disharmonize our energetic field. And that's why it's just so important to pay attention to that aspect of our health and healing. It's really a puzzle piece that we can feel empowered that we can actually address that part of our health and well-being.
Yeah, I like thinking of it that way, actually, as a puzzle piece. Like when you think about putting your healing puzzle together, right? Like all the different pieces are going to help your body heal or stay healthy. That energy is one of those pieces, and maybe even a pretty big piece, right? If we were thinking about how there all might be different sizes, energy is a pretty big piece to the puzzle. And in like complete transparency, being trained as a dietitian, this is not something that was on my radar at the beginning. I really had to come to this understanding through just my own like my own self-awareness and looking to discover different strategies for my own well-being. And then also getting to the point with my clients where again, we were checking off so many boxes, right? Like the physical stuff, the supplements, the food. And then we were still getting up against these walls, if you will. Like we could get to a certain point, but we couldn't get beyond that point. And that also really motivated me to dive deeper into what else, what are we missing here? What else are we not looking at? And this really opened up the door, right? The world of energy. And I'm learning as I go. And that's why I'm surrounding myself with experts like you so that we can really take this deeper and also though make it as easy as possible to implement, because again it can feel a bit abstract or esoteric. What am I supposed to do with this information? Unless it maybe go out and hire an energy worker like an energy healer to work on you. I would love for you to give us just some actual practical, like where do we begin? How do we start working with this on our, just for ourselves?
Terrific. And I just want to add from earlier, one of the reasons why I am so attracted to Ground and Root and the work that you're doing there is because it does address the
Mm,
whole being. I'm not going to say the whole person, but the whole being. And
mm,
that idea of just that comprehensive, multidisciplinary approach to health and healing has always been a passion of mine. And
yeah.
so I'm just really appreciating that aspect even more now as we're chatting.
Thank you.
Yeah, so the idea of energy is, gosh, I mean, if in its most basic form, really, is it comes back to our breath, that we can actually harmonize, that our breath is our ultimate healer.
Mm,
That's why we can shift our energy simply by doing breathing exercises, as for example.
mm,
Okay. So it can be as basic as that, or as complex as, yes, I'm going to see a healer and they're going to do acupuncture for me, or they're going to do cranial sacral, or whatever the modality might be, and then kind of everything in between.
mm.
Guided imagery and visualization, meditation, yoga, qigong. There's movement therapies that shift our energy. I just mentioned a couple. So we're talking about a vast array of practices that actually affect our luminous energy field, or our energy in
Mhm.
general. So, what I'd like to do is just help you feel empowered right now. I'm going to go through a brief meditation to help you get in touch with that sense of your energy and how to do a quick assessment of, how is my energy field? Is there anything going on in my energy field that is asking for my attention? And
Mm.
then how do I quickly harmonize that? So this is a chance for you to take what sounds maybe a little esoteric and actually put it into practice. And I think the
Love
best
that.
way to do that is really experiencing something. Talking is fine, but we can only understand so much through speaking about it. So, unless you
100%.
have
Let's
another
do it.
question.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
good.
love this. Thank you.
Great, great. This is an exercise on listening to your energy body. So, I'm going to invite you to get comfortable. And if you're okay with this, closing your eyes. And we're going to begin with a nice, slow, easy breath. And with each exhalation, just letting your body soften, feeling your feet on the ground, your body being held in whatever place it's sitting or laying down. And another nice, easy breath. And now imagine that your body is surrounded by a soft field of light. This is your energy field. It might be extending a few inches beyond your skin. Some of you might experience it further out. There is no right answer here. Our energy field takes on different sizes. This is the subtle layer that carries your vitality and your emotions and your life force. And just gently, as you're imagining this beautiful energy field around you, just start with the top of your head, going out a few inches into your field, and just scan and just notice where the energy feels open and light and flowing. And also notice where it might feel heavy, tight, or dim. And you don't need to do anything except notice. Sometimes it might feel a little opaque or look a little opaque. Some people are kinesthetic, some people are visual. So, however you're experiencing your field, and you're just paying attention to any areas of heaviness or tightness. And as you focus on an area of tightness, for example, you can ask this area, what do you need right now? Maybe you sense an emotion or you're shown an image, or there's simply a need for rest and kindness. I'm just going to take a few moments here as you're scanning to go to any areas that are illuminated right now and asking again, what do you need right now? You may even want to gently place a hand on the area that feels in need. And now we get to invite in the light from the universe, from source, to help us clear whatever energies that are feeling heavy or tight or dim, bringing in a sense of renewal and nourishment. I'd like you to imagine a fresh, clear current of light coming down through the crown of your head, known as our seventh chakra, the seventh energy center. Just inviting that light to come in through your energy body, down into your physical body, sending a gentle stream of beautiful light, washing away any tension, any heaviness, tightness, restoring harmony to both your subtle field and your physical body. No need to effort or push, just a gentle inviting of the light and watching it flow through your aura, your subtle energy field, into your physical body, all the way down to the cellular level and out again. And just go ahead and take one more deep breath, feeling your energy field and your body as a single whole. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes, carrying with you the awareness that caring for your energy body is caring for your health.
It's beautiful. Thank you, Vicki. I have a question in fall as everybody's coming back to their rooms or wherever they are, getting back to the moment. If a practice like that is new to you, Because I remember even for me in the beginning, when I was first dabbling into this world, into different like meditations and strategies to access my energy, it might be a little bit harder in the beginning, right? I just want to speak to that in case somebody was going through that meditation with you and they were having a hard time. Maybe they were distracted, like thoughts were coming up, or maybe they tapped into areas that needed some, that wanted to say something, but they didn't hear anything. Like, how do you coach someone through in the beginning when they're still just learning how to do this?
I think in the beginning, anytime we need to meet people where they are.
Mm,
So for people that have never experienced working with energy healing tools, I may not necessarily do that kind of exercise with them initially. And that's why we're going to talk in a few minutes about much simpler, accessible, quick
mm,
energy healing tools. I think the idea is to know that we have a toolbox and that depending on where we are and the issues that we're working with, we're going to pick different tools from our toolbox in order to harmonize whatever it is that we're working on. To answer your question, there probably is sometimes distraction, or even the question of what am I doing? What am I supposed to be seeing and feeling, and all of that. And
mm.
that is very, very normal. And again, this is why we have so many different practices, so that sometimes people aren't so visual and doing visualization is not their thing. Maybe something like yoga or qigong, a movement type of meditation, is more what is going to help them get into their energy and harmonizing their energy fields. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, definitely. And I think just to, from a person who started from scratch and gradually working my way into this world, I also think there's something to be said about even if like you don't have, it's not super clear the answer or the question or the reason or whatever it is that you're diving into, your body is still benefiting from you taking a moment to just be and breathe and relax your nervous system. Right. So even if you feel like, I don't know if I got anything out of that, I want you to know that you did. Your body still benefited from you taking those few minutes to just close your eyes and breathe. And that the more we do these different practices, the easier it gets to tap in and to start to hear or see or feel or connect more with our energetic body. And that it's okay if that didn't happen this time around.
Absolutely. Very well said. And there is benefit to sitting quietly, doing supposedly nothing,
Mm,
even for 10 seconds, is of benefit, even if we are just sitting quietly. And then we start to add on taking some breaths, some conscious breaths, and
yeah,
anything helps when we actually have the intention of being with ourselves and
yeah,
helping our energy balance.
100%. Okay, maybe it would be good to transition into just some examples of other ways that we can tap into our energy or move our energy or harmonize our energy. I know you already mentioned quite a few. There is really quite a big toolbox. So maybe what we'll do as well as in the show notes, I'll go ahead and give examples so that you can also see some written examples of what are different ways that we can enhance our energetic flow. But if there's a few really simple ones that we could start with, maybe we could share those for our listeners now.
I would be delighted to share those.
Okay, great.
So let's start with the 3 breath reset. Okay, so again, close your eyes if you'd like, or leave them softly gazed, and take a slow inhale through your nose. And then exhale. If you're comfortable, you can breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And let's do this a couple more times together, allowing your shoulders to drop with each conscious breath. Go ahead and take a nice inhalation And exhalation. And one more time. Again, allowing your shoulders to drop with each breath. Now, open your eyes and notice how you feel.
I feel calm.
I do too. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's just a few deep breaths, right? Sometimes that's all it takes to shift your energy. That's a great example. That's something we can do multiple times throughout the day if we needed to, right? Really accessible.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And especially if we just really notice that our nervous system has been triggered for some reason.
Mm,
And before we speak, even if we're in the midst of something that we're feeling emotional about, imagine doing the 3 breath reset before we actually respond in a conversation or in an email, that we can really come from a very different place just by doing the 3 breath reset.
yeah, I love that. That's a great tool. Thank you.
Absolutely. And so we're going to now work with our heart energy. So I want you to take either your right or left hand and place it over your heart and take one breath in and exhale out. And now just simply notice the warmth under your hand. The warmth is your energy responding to the gentle touch of your hand on your heart. This energy is steady, supportive, and always available. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and notice how you feel.
I'm curious from your perspective, Vicki, what is the energy of the heart, right? Because when we think about that could be a whole nother, I could have you back on the podcast. We talk about chakras and like different energy centers and what they mean. But the heart is certainly one of those chakra centers, those energy centers. So what are we tapping into when we do that exercise?
To put it simply,
Yeah.
love and compassion. Compassion for self, compassion for others. That idea of also being coming from our heart, being a heart-centered person. When we do this exercise, it allows us to drop into our heart. We're
Mm.
so used to operating from our minds
Yeah.
and less so from our heart
Yeah.
as a common practice, right?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I wonder too, what a thought came to me is that do you feel like connecting deeper with our heart energy as a tool to get out of our mind and like into our bodies, into our heart, could that also be a really helpful strategy for anxiety?
Extremely helpful for anxiety. Yes, especially if in this exercise, if you pair it with breathing,
Hmm.
because breathing is going to help us reset our nervous system and help fight or flight freeze responses and dropping into our heart, because often anxiety is triggered by thoughts that we're having, and so it helps move us from the thinking body, if you will, to the heart body. And we can quell those thoughts that can really be causing us a lot of anxiety. So it's working on multiple levels. It's
Right.
working energetically and it's working cognitively as well.
Which is great. It's one tool that checks off many boxes. That's what we love,
We love
right? We
that.
love that. Simple tools that work on many different things. Sign me up.
Wonderful.
Are there any others you'd like to share?
This is a great one. This is a grounding drop exercise, and it's so quick. And so I recommend doing this absolutely every day because, boy, oh boy, in our world, we could all use some help grounding. And it's
Mm.
so simple. So go ahead and again, close your eyes or keep them softly gazed and feel your feet on the floor. And now imagine roots, just like the roots of a tree, growing down into the earth from the bottoms of your feet. And take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, watch those roots go down into the earth and anchor. It could be an inch or two, it could be feet, or even further down, whatever you're imagining. And now, with each exhalation, just allow any tension in your body and your energy field to sink down through those roots, releasing into the earth to be transformed and transmuted by the earth back into light. And go ahead and open your eyes and notice how much lighter you feel.
Yeah, I love that. A version of that is one that I do every day. It's so it's so helpful. And we certainly do with a lot of our clients and members as well, because it's such a simple exercise. And yet, I mean, there is a reason we're called ground and root. I just want to say that in case people are wondering, like there is a lot of medicine that comes from just grounding your energy, rooting into the earth's energy, the earth's medicines. Like there's just so much healing we can access from those two things. So I love that in just a couple minutes, we could access that energy. That was lovely.
Yes, and that these are 20 to 30-second versions of exercises that can be made longer,
Mm.
more in depth, should somebody have time. And the 20-second version is extremely effective. You're not doing less by doing less time. It's
Mm.
actually still extremely effective. Long sessions are not required.
Oh, that's like really important to hear because particularly if you're still moving through a cancer journey and you feel like I'm already doing so many things in my day, right? I'm trying to fit in all the things to help my body heal. Adding an hour of meditation, let's just say, or qigong or something like this might feel completely overwhelming. And maybe there will come a point where that feels luxurious and nourishing and you want to do that and you can do that. But I love that really you could take a minute or less and still tap into the benefit of these practices. So practical.
Yes, yes, great.
Good.
And then the last one I want to share is bringing in the light. So it's a very short version of what we did earlier, where we were getting in touch with our luminous energy field and looking for tightness and tension and all of that. That was a longer version, but this is a really quick, but also very effective. So again, close your eyes, leave them softly gaze and imagine the beautiful light around you, all around you, the light from source, the universe. And on your next inhalation, allow that light to pour through your body and energy field like a gentle waterfall. And as you exhale, imagine it carrying away stress, leaving you clear and calm. Let's do that one more time. As you inhale, let this beautiful light pour down from above into your energy field, into your body, like a gentle waterfall. And on your exhale, imagine it carrying away stress, tension, and leaving you clear and calm. And when you're ready, open your eyes.
I love the waterfall metaphor. Like you could really feel that, an energy fall.
Yes.
So
I
good.
really relate to waterfalls as well. And this is such a great reset. So if you were to combine all four of these, it would be less than 2 minutes.
Mm.
Or do one or
Hmm.
two.
Hmm.
But know that any combination of any of these exercises is going to absolutely harmonize your energy.
Yeah.
And that includes both your physical body and your energy field.
Mm.
It's taking care of all of that in simple practices.
So great. With that last one, I was even imagining maybe as part of my shower routine, right? Like because you have that same energy from the shower, the water pouring over you, and then you can take a minute to imagine same like the energy pouring through you and washing away whatever happened during the day. Or depends on when you take your shower. I like to take my shower at night. So then it could be a way to energetically rinse off whatever I don't want to carry to bed
Yes,
with me from my day.
beautiful. Fabulous idea
Yeah.
to use our time in the shower working with water, which is harmonizing in and of itself, water,
Mm.
and especially with our emotions. Water's very closely associated with emotional healing. So you can get a lot of mileage out of working with this while in the shower. That is a great point.
We've got to take showers, right? Or a bath. You got to clean yourself off at some point. So you might as well combine these practices. No, I love doing them. If we can layer on practices to things that we're already doing, it's just so much easier. It's so much more sustainable. Or even just a good place to start. If you're like, I don't know how I'm going to fit this in, do it while you're taking your shower.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And that reminds me, if we have just another
Sure.
moment. So I want to do another 20-second quick tool for you that's really important because harmonizing our energy is so vital, but also protecting our energy is
Mm,
also very vital. So I want to share an energy shield that was just shared with me recently that I hadn't known about. I just want to share this idea of energetic protection because we can harmonize our energy, but if we don't protect it, then that's a step that we're missing. And again, just being in life, in just living, breathing human beings, our energy is porous unless we consciously move to protect it. And that could be through various, many different practices. But the one I'm going to share with you is using visualization to erect a shield. I'm going to ask Dion what she thinks of this shield. So
okay.
imagine a beautiful rose bush coming around your energy, your luminous energy body, and going up in a spiral, but also having beautiful roses on it, in addition to the thorns. And who's gonna come through a thorny rose bush? What's gonna come through a thorny rose bush? And yet, the roses are like, we get to keep our beautiful energy and our beautiful selves in our shield, but also be protected. I just love that idea of having the flowers with the protection.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I do really love that. I love a good energy shield. Vicki and I have talked about this before. I certainly try to start my day with some protection around my energy. And I love that. I will play with it.
Yeah, it's just fun to play with. And again, there's many different ways to protect our energy. That is one of many. And I encourage people to also just think about what works for you and not necessarily be looking for someone to tell you what your best shield is. But I think sometimes we know intuitively what feels right to us.
Yeah. And that is a big part to this is not what you should be doing or what you think you should be doing, but really trusting your intuition around what feels good to be doing and trust that's the right energy practice for you. Right? I think
Yes.
that is a really important part to say. We will talk a lot more about intuition, using your intuition in your healing journey, because I'm a big believer in that, like letting your own inner wisdom guide what you do, what strategies you use. But I think as you start working with energy, that's a good place to begin to tap into like, well, I didn't really like that one, or oh, I really liked this one. Go with what feels good. Follow that path. So great. Okay, one last question for you, and then we will wrap it up, Vicki. So I mentioned in the very beginning that you are our resident energy healing coach inside our group program, the Healing Accelerator. You also work some with our one-on-one clients too at times. So I'm curious if you could just explain a little bit about what that actually means. So for people who are in our containers, they come to one of your sessions. I'm imagining it's a little bit about what people experience today, but could you also just share like what would be your experience coming into an energy healing session, and maybe even give both examples just so people understand if they're brand new to this, if you were working with someone one-on-one versus in a group setting, and you're moving through a cancer journey, what does that actually look like?
So I'll start with the group setting. So it really is first and foremost a supportive place in a group setting. You're getting the benefit of hearing other people talk about their experiences with energy healing tools and techniques, hearing about their different issues and maybe struggles or challenges, and getting lots of great ideas from other people on how they're working with their energy. But also, in addition to support and being able to come with questions, we also always have an experiential component to our calls. And I always try to have a topic. However, I go with what the group needs. So I can pivot from a topic to, okay, the group really wants to talk about sleep today. So I'm going to pivot from my topic and we're going to work on sleep together, which is comes back very often to the
Mm.
energy calls of how to get the best sleep we can. That's a big topic, for example. So you can expect both personal sharing if you wish on how you're doing, getting your questions answered, getting support on how to implement energy healing practices into your daily life. And then again, just always gaining new tools and always trying to bring in fresh and new ideas and healing techniques so that, again, you get the full menu and toolkit
Mm.
versus we're just doing one or two things. We're actually practicing several.
Yeah. So you expand your knowledge base of
Yes,
how to do energy work. And like we just mentioned, then it gives you the opportunity to try different things and decide what resonates best. What do you want to keep inside your toolkit? And I've noticed that too, is there could be a series of energy practices that would help, let's say, with sleep or anxiety or stress or something like this or fear. And yet, what is going to work most effectively for each person might actually be a little bit different. Like they may each use a different tool because that's the one that worked best for them. So, unless you're exposing yourself to new ideas and practices, you may not know what's going to work best for you.
exactly. And so this is a chance to try things out and to be in a supportive, safe space in our
Mhm.
group to try different tools and techniques out. We also record every call, so there's always replays. And also, if I go through any energy healing tools and techniques, I always provide written handouts so that you're not you don't have to remember everything that gets said in the call, that you have visuals. And also I personally email participants follow-ups and make sure that they have all the information that they need from the call so that there's some continuity of care there.
I love that. We're so lucky to have you. We really are. And I know our members feel the same. Okay, tell us how it might be different if you were working with on someone one-on-one, which I can say from personal experience that I've received Vicki's energy work and I've found it to be magical. But you tell me what that means.
So working one-on-one might look like having a talk session where we come up with a self-care plan uniquely tailored for your needs in terms of what kind of energy healing practices might suit you best right now. But really, it's all about what the person is coming to the session with. Is there a need for that where they want to talk through things, or is there more a need for a virtual energy healing session? Gosh, I wish, in person was more possible, but virtual works just the same. And so I can offer a Jin Shin Jyutsu or Reiki session to people where the person lays down as if they're on my table, and I am working as if they're on my table. And the energy healing is sent as if the person is actually with me. And this mode is quite effective. And we learned in the pandemic, when we didn't have any other choice, we had to all turn to how can we still help people. So we
Mhm.
got on Zoom, we started doing things like this, and then also doing the virtual healing. So it's uniquely tailored for whatever the person needs most. And I can help ferret that out too. Like, what
Yeah.
is maybe somebody really just needs to lay down and rest for an hour and
Mhm.
receive nourishment and energy and light versus sit in a talk
Mhm.
conversation and work on a self-care plan. So it can look both ways.
I love that explanation just because, again, if you're somebody who you're brand new to this, you've never met with an energy healer before, it might be a little intimidating to know what is actually going to happen, whether you're seeing somebody in person or virtually. So I think hopefully that was helpful for our listeners to just hear, more. And I'm sure everybody works a little bit differently, but you could expect probably something similar from many different energy healers out there. And one last, okay, I know I said one last thing, but I think this is important because when I had my first virtual energy healing session with you, and I've had a few since, I was really, of course, I wanted to believe that it would do something, but I was really surprised at how different I felt after the session. And again, for anybody who's never experienced this, they're like, what in the world? How could that possibly work? Do you have even just a quick way to try to explain, like, how is that possible? How can you shift energy even from far away?
It's it's hard to actually put into words or to explain how that works. But do you know how just the idea of you can be thinking about somebody and then all of a sudden your phone rings and it's them because
Yep.
somehow they energetically picked up that you were thinking about them? It's the same idea that energy transforms and transmutes like through all time, spaces, and dimensions. And so, this modality, if we can think about somebody and they can feel it, then they
Mm-hmm.
can certainly feel an energy healing session where the intention is to bring light and love and healing to this person.
Yeah.
That's really what prayer is all about as well. And people talk about how people all over the world are praying for somebody and how powerful that is.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
energy.
Yeah.
That's energy. If prayer can go out and affect distance, then so can energy healing.
Yeah. That's great. That's actually a really great example. And I would say if you're curious about it, if you're listening and you're curious, just do a session and see what you discover, right? Sometimes you just have to get your feet wet and see what did it feel like for you and then decide if it's something you want to continue, if you want to keep that in your toolkit or not, or part of your healthcare team. But I have found it to be very powerful and I have seen it work powerfully in the people that we work with together. So I know that it's doing a lot of good. And just to say that we will certainly cover more on this topic because there's a lot we could talk about here. So this it won't be our only session. We will definitely cover more energy related content. So more to come. If this is something that you're interested in, then please do subscribe and follow along because we will have a lot more to come. And I just want to thank you again so much, Vicki, for joining us, for taking the time to be here. I appreciate it.
It is so my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. And I hope all of our listeners really appreciated that as well. In our next episode, you will get to meet another one of our coaches and get to hear more of her story and the work that she does with us. So I look forward to seeing you then. Bye, everyone.